night sky felt different. Not because of the dazzling stage lights that shine brighter than usual, nor because of the deafening roar of tens of thousands of fans who had filled the stadium since the afternoon. It was something else, something unexplainable, a feeling in the air, as if everyone was waiting for something big. And somehow, they were right. The concert started like any other. Song after song delivered with explosive energy, sharp choreography, flawless vocals, and visuals so captivating no one could look away. Everything was perfect, and yet something slowly began to feel different. Taehyung and Jungkook felt different. Not in an obvious way, but deeper, quieter, more connected. The moment that changed everything. In the middle of the performance, when the music softened and the stage lights dimmed into a calm glow, the camera slowly focused on Taehyung standing slightly apart from the others. But he wasn't looking at the crowd. He was looking at one person, Jungkook. And that's when everything shifted. A walk that meant more than words. Taehyung began to walk. Slowly, not rushed, not dramatic, but every step carried weight. As if he knew exactly where he needed to go, and why. Jungkook, who had been standing with his head slightly lowered, slowly lifted his gaze. Their eyes met. No words. No exaggerated smiles. Just silence. And yet, in that silence, something powerful was felt. The crowd began to scream. Some fans cried instantly, others clutched their hearts without understanding why. Because they knew this wasn't just another stage interaction. This was different. A look that said everything. When Taehyung finally stood in front of Jungkook, time seemed to stop. The music kept playing. The lights kept moving. But none of it mattered anymore. All eyes were on them. Their gaze was deep, intense. As if they were speaking in a language no one else could hear. As if everything left unsaid was finally being understood. And then Jungkook moved first, quickly yet gently. He lifted his arm and wrapped it around Taehyung's shoulder. It wasn't just a hug. It didn't feel like fan service. It felt, real. Unmistakably real. The stadium explodes, but they stay still. The moment that embrace happened, the entire stadium erupted. Screams echoed endlessly. Some fans sounded like they couldn't even believe what they had just witnessed. But what shocked everyone even more? Taehyung and Jungkook didn't react. They didn't laugh it off. They didn't pull away immediately. They simply stayed there, together, as if the world around them had disappeared. The small details that said too much. What made fans even more emotional were the tiny details caught on camera. Jungkook's hand pressing slightly on Taehyung's shoulder. Taehyung's gaze that didn't waver, even after the hug ended. The subtle heaviness in their breathing. This wasn't just a spontaneous moment. This was something felt. Fans began to question everything. After the concert ended, social media exploded with clips of that moment. Comments flooded in from all over the world. That wasn't acting. Why does it feel like they were comforting each other? I don't even know why I'm crying. This isn't fan service. This is too real. And the questions began. What really happened behind the scenes? Is there something we don't know? Or is this just another glimpse of a bond we've never fully understood? A silent language only they understand. One thing became clear that night. Taehyung and Jungkook don't need words. They only need a glance, a step, a single embrace. And somehow, everything is understood. A moment that will never be forgotten. That concert will be remembered for many things, the powerful performances, the stunning visuals, the unforgettable energy. But for many fans, the moment when Tae walked toward JK, and JK immediately pulled him into a shoulder embrace, will always be the most important part. Because for a brief second, everything felt real. No script, no setup, no pretending. And now the question remains, was it just a simple moment? Or a message left unspoken? One thing is certain, their glance, their silent signals, were enough to tell each other exactly what they needed. And maybe, without even realizing it, we all just witnessed something far deeper than a performance. As the performance moved on, something had undeniably changed. Even though the music returned to its powerful beats and the choreography demanded precision, fans couldn't unsee what had just happened. The energy between Taehyung and Jungkook lingered in the air, thick, almost tangible, and then something even more subtle began to unfold. Taehyung, who usually played with the camera and interacted with fans freely, seemed quieter, not distant but focused. On Jungkook, meanwhile, Jungkook's movements, though sharp as ever, carried a certain intensity. His expressions weren't just part of the performance anymore. They felt layered, as if something deeper was running beneath the surface. The second glance that no one expected. Midway through the next song, the camera caught another moment. Brief, almost easy to miss, but not for fans. Taehyung turned just slightly and looked at Jungkook again. This time, it wasn't a long stare. It was quick, but Jungkook noticed. Immediately, without hesitation, Jungkook gave the smallest nod. Just a fraction of movement, but enough. And somehow, that tiny exchange sent fans into another wave of emotional chaos, because it looked like understanding, a connection beyond performance. By now, even casual viewers could feel it. This wasn't just stage chemistry. This wasn't something rehearsed. There was a rhythm between them that didn't match the music but matched each other. When Taehyung slowed, Jungkook adjusted. When Jungkook stepped forward, Taehyung was already there. No signals, no cues, just instinct. Or maybe something deeper than instinct. Backstage, the silence that spoke loudest. After the final song ended and the last note faded into the night, the members slowly made their way off stage. Fans were still screaming, cameras still flashing, but behind the curtains, everything changed. The noise faded, the lights dimmed, and for the first time that night, there was silence. Taehyung walked in first. Jungkook followed shortly after. For a moment, they didn't speak. They didn't need to. Taehyung leaned slightly against the wall, catching his breath. Jungkook stood a few steps away, watching him. Then finally, "You okay?" Jungkook's voice was low. "Careful." Taehyung didn't answer immediately. He just looked up, and their eyes met again. That same look from the stage. But this time, without thousands of people watching. "I am now," Taehyung said softly. The truth hidden in a simple sentence. It was a short answer, but it carried weight. Jungkook exhaled almost like he had been holding that breath for a long time. "You scared me back there," he admitted. Taehyung tilted his head slightly, a faint smile forming. "But you came to me anyway." Jungkook didn't deny it. Instead, he stepped closer. Not rushed, not hesitant, just certain. "I always will." A bond fans can feel, but not fully explain. That night didn't give clear answers. It didn't confirm anything. It didn't need to. The night didn't end there. Most fans thought the moment on stage was the peak. They were wrong, because what happened after was something no camera fully captured. And yet, somehow, fans could still feel it, a tension that refused to fade. Backstage, the atmosphere wasn't chaotic like usual. There were no loud jokes, no playful teasing echoing through the halls. Instead, there was a strange calm, the kind of calm that only exists after something intense has just happened. Staff members moved quietly, exchanging glances as if they, too, had noticed something unusual. Because they had, everyone had, but no one dared to say it out loud. The distance that didn't feel like distance. Taehyung sat down, a towel draped over his shoulders, his hair still slightly damp from sweat. Jungkook stood across the room. Not too far, but not close either. And yet, the space between them felt full. Not empty. Never empty. It was filled with everything they hadn't said. Everything they couldn't say. And maybe Everything they didn't need to say. One question that changed everything. Jungkook finally broke the silence. Why did you look at me like that? His voice wasn't teasing. It wasn't casual. It was real. Taeyoung paused. For a moment it looked like he might avoid the question. But he didn't. Because I needed to know, he replied quietly. Jungkook frowned slightly. Know what? Taeyoung looked straight at him. That you were still there. The words that hit too deep. The room felt smaller, heavier. Jungkook didn't respond immediately. Because he understood. More than anyone else could. You think I wouldn't be? Jungkook asked, his voice softer now. Taeyoung shook his head slightly. It's not that. Then what is it?